Clinton Anderson, and I have a method for training horses. Getting horses to behave is simple. It's training people that's the real trick. Join me as I tackle some of the most challenging situations with problem horses and with problem owners.
On today's show, mate, I thought we'd work with our rescue mare, Cider, and I wanted to show everybody some techniques and concepts and ideas on how to get your horse to stand tied with their legs hobbled. And you might ask yourself, well, why would you ever want to hobble a horse? Well, for people who don't know what hobbling is a term or procedure and getting the horse to stand still without being tied up to a tree or post, or rail, but stand tied with their legs restricted without panicking, without getting upset about it or fighting back. See, basically horses have a flight or fight reaction. Flight is their ability to run away from danger. So anytime a horse feels threatened or feels like his life is in danger, the first thing that Mother Nature says is to run first. What we want to do is teach the horse not to run, but actually to use the thinking side of his brain. Now, if a horse can't flight or run away from danger, he naturally feels like the next best option is to fight. That's when the kick, bite, strike, etc. comes into the program. So if a horse is running away from a bunch of lions and they eventually catch up and jump on that horse's back, that horse's only defense is to kick, bite, strike, and attack those lions to get him away from him, and then he can start running again, okay? So what I'm going to do in today's show is show you some concepts and ideas on how to safely get your horse to stand still and be hobbled without a fight. My name's Clinton Anderson, and in today's program, we're going to be working with Cider. Cider is our rescue mare, okay? You've seen her over the last few weeks. We've been making tremendous progress with this mare. She came from Habitat for Horses. She was starved, she was abused, mistreated, and we've had her now for about 5 or 6 weeks now, and she's doing great. She's really coming along. At the end of a 13-week series, we're actually going to give Cider away to one lucky owner. The horse train, the saddle, the equipment, bridles, a bunch of products, everything's worth about $30,000. One lucky owner is going to take all of that home. So in today's lesson, I want to teach Cider not to panic if she feels like her legs are restricted, okay? There's 3 ways that you can control a horse's mind, okay? The first way is by able to creating movement, getting the horse's feet to move. The second way you can control a horse's mind is by redirecting that movement, forwards, backwards, left and right. And the third way you can control a horse's mind is by inhibiting movement, shutting those legs down, getting so the horse so he can't run away. Now, it's very, very important that you don't start any of the third method until the first 2 are really good. You can move the horse's feet and you can change the direction of the horse's feet. And we've done a lot of that with Cider up to this point, haven't we? Okay, preparing her for this lesson. It's very, very important to do this preparation because that's going to cut down on your horse's desire to want to panic and fight. Now, you might ask yourself, why do we want to teach her to have her legs be restricted without her panicking or fighting? Well, to believe it or not, it's for 2 reasons. Number 1, it'll get her to be much, much more submissive and passive and trust us a lot more. But another thing that's really important is it'll teach her not to endanger herself or other people if she ever gets her legs hung up in a fence, in a gate, or in a bad situation. It's not if your horse ever gets their leg caught in a fence. It's not if they ever get their foot caught over a wire. It's just when. So by teaching your horse how to stand still, using the thinking side of his brain without reacting and fighting, will get that horse to a point where if he ever does get his leg hung up in a gate or a fence or in a bad situation, he'll just stand there and be submissive and wait till somebody gets the horse out of that position, okay? Before we get started, mate, on actually showing you the hobbling techniques, it's very important that you understand what the basic elements your horse has to know before we get started. To begin with, we've covered this a lot with Cider, but I want to go over it again, is making sure that your horse is not frightened of you or your tools. Okay? You need to be able to throw your halter and lead rope all around your horse's body and not have the horse be jumpy or reactive or spooky. Very, very important to make sure the horse is not frightened of you or your tools. Okay? Next thing you want to be able to make sure is you can spank the ground with your stick and string, that your horse is not worried about it, okay? Horses hate objects, especially objects that move and make a noise. So it's very important that you can flog them with kindness. Spanking the ground without getting the horse upset. Good girl. She's standing here nice and calm. You want to be able to swing it above their head. So as you can see, Cider's very, very quiet, and she's not reacting to me and my tools. So that's the first thing that you need to make sure your horse will stand and accept, is the movement of you and your tools around them, okay? Some other basic elements that you want to make sure your horse can do before you get started with these techniques is you want to make sure that you can yield the horse's hindquarters. Stage one, get them to disengage their hindquarters. Get them to yield their forequarters. See how Cider's being respectful and she's moving away from that pressure? Another great exercise is the sending exercise, making sure that you can yield their hindquarters. Bring them through. Yield. Bring it through the gap. Yield. Great. Another great little exercise to teach them is making sure that you can side pass them down that fence. They'll move their feet away from you. Good girl. Yield her hindquarters. Come through the gap. I love how soft Cider is. She's nice and soft and relaxed. Front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. Horse will move their feet. I want to make sure the horse is respectful, that he'll back away from me. Now, marching exercise, okay? These exercises are the bare minimum horse should know before you start the hobbling procedure. You should be able to back your horse in circles and then bring him back through this way. That's a go. Yield that forequarters. There we go. Excellent. Another important factor is making sure that your horse will flex. I like a horse that's really light. Good girl. That's a go. The lighter you can get your horse on that halter, the better, especially if we're under saddle. If they're stiff on the ground, good girl. I love that when she keeps her head bent like that. Good girl, okay? So as you can see, she's not frightened of me or my tools. I can move her feet forwards, backwards, left and right. So really the first two categories are covered, aren't they? Remember I said there's three ways you can control a horse's mind. The first way is by what? Creating movement, getting the horse's feet to move. The second way you can control a horse's mind is by redirecting that movement, forwards, backwards, left and right. And that's what I just did then, by moving her feet forwards, backwards, just left and right. And now the third way that we're going to use to control her mind, which is by inhibiting movement. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about in this particular issue. So let's move on from this point, mate. When you can get a horse to stand still and be hobbled without any resistance, without them panicking, you'd be amazed at how much more submissive the horse gets, okay? If I've got a wild horse, a horse that's very wild and untrusting, if you can get that horse to lay down, you can teach him how to lay down. When they get back up, it's amazing how much more submissive a horse gets. So a lot of people have this phobia that they think hobbling a horse is like in the old Western movies, how you tied all their legs up and you flip them over backwards and you beat them up with a stick and kind of like, you know, the breaking in method where they used to break a young horse's spirit. Well, years ago, that's how they used to hobble horses. They just hobble all their legs together and the horse would fight and struggle and flip over and lay down and they'd cover the horse up with a tarp and leave him there for hours and mistreat him. And we're not trying to break this horse. We're not trying to break her spirit. What we're trying to do is teach her that any time she feels her legs being restricted and she doesn't have movement on them, don't do what Mother Nature says. Mother Nature says you need to panic and fight. Whenever you can't move those feet, you need to panic and fight. I want her to know, you know what? If I can't move my feet, I should just fall asleep, relax, and use the thinking side of my brain. So let's get started with the first technique, mate.
check out our latest catalog from Downunder Horsemanship. It's filled with beautiful imagery and in-depth information on all the products used in this show. Visit our website or call this number and we'll send it to your door free of charge.
There's three basic pieces of equipment, mate, that I use in teaching my horses to stand tied hobbled, okay? Our first piece of equipment is what we call our one-legged hobble. The one-legged hobble is basically that, is it ties one leg up, okay? And it enables me to restrict one leg at a time. Basically, my theory behind hobbling a horse is instead of just taking away all the horse's legs, so it's very dramatic to where he can move all 4 feet, and then all of a sudden we hobble all of his legs together and then he panics, I just want to take one leg away from him at each time. So I'll take one leg away and get him used to that, and then I'll take 2 legs away, and then I'll take 3 legs away until eventually he can't move any of his legs. And by doing it that way, you reduce the risk of having the horse just really panic and fight and hurt himself or hurt you in the process. So there's a kind of method behind my madness is we do it in stages to give the horse a chance to understand. So we use the one-legged hobble. Then we'll use what we call our sidelines. Our sidelines basically connect 2 legs together at the same time. And then we have our rope hobbles, which connect the front legs together, okay? So let's just get started, mate, and I'll show you how it works here. Let me put those 2. First thing we're gonna do is use the one-legged hobble. Okay, so in doing this, I'm gonna make sure that she'll pick a foot up here. So I'm gonna squeeze and get her to offer me that foot. There we go, good girl. Okay, she's pretty quiet, so I'm just gonna drop that down. So I just lay this across her pastern here. And I take the one-legged hobble through itself, like that, and I pull it up just like that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take it around her forearm and buckle it off. Okay, take it around her forearm and buckle it off. Now when I buckle it off, it's going to put her in a little bit of a bind here. So it's very important here that I step away from her because at this point, okay, they probably will struggle just a little bit here. See, this is new for her. She doesn't know how to survive on 3 legs. So it's very, very important to use the halter and lead rope, my rope halter and lead rope with a 14-foot line. So right now, this is like a little bit of a brain twister for her. She's thinking, you know what, how can I stand up but I've only got 3 legs? So I don't want to hassle her at this point. I just want to give her a chance to think about it. See, automatically she's starting to lick her lips. That's a good sign, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her to actually move. I want to show her that she can still move, but she can only do it with 3 legs. There we go. Excellent. There we go. Now I'm just going to wait. There. Wait till she stands up there and relaxes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this off. Just like that there. Good girl. Excellent. I want her to realize that if she doesn't panic and doesn't overreact, I'll take this off her very, very quickly. There's 5 signs of a horse relaxing. What are they? Lowering their head and neck, licking their lips, cocking their hind leg, taking a big breath or sighing, okay? Or the 5th one is blinking their eyes. So that was a great sign then that she kind of took a big breath and she licked the lips all at the same time. Good girl, okay? It's funny, horses are almost like kids. The more you want them to do it, the less they want to do it, okay? Or the more you don't want them to do it, the more they want to do it. So by actually encouraging her to lunge around me, what that does is it really makes standing still look like a pretty good deal. Because for her to lunge around on 3 legs, it actually takes quite a bit of work for them to lunge around on 3 legs. It's kind of like you know, hopping around on 1 foot. Okay, you could do it, but it takes a lot more air away from you compared to just walking on 2 feet, okay? So by lunging her around a couple of circles and then letting her stop and relax, and then when she relaxes, walking up and taking the hobble off, it encourages her that number 1, standing still is a good option. And then number 2, relaxing is what will get the hobble off your leg. That's what will get you out of that bind. So some horses, of course, will struggle more than others. She struggled a little bit, but not much at all. Typically, that's what I would expect out of a horse. The better groundwork you've done in preparation leading up to this point, the less struggle a horse would have. I'm sure that the first day we got Cider, if we would have brought her into this round pen and put this on her, she would have reared up and struck out and fought a lot more. Now, it'll still work if you don't do your preparation, but the chances of the horse hurting themselves or you getting hurt is a lot higher. So again, I very much encourage you to do the beginning program first, do the groundwork, and then start with it.
Verify ready to resume count and go for launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Flight.
3,
Flight is go.
2, 1, 0.
I'll start my full at this time. Chief engineer, verify ready to resume count and go for launch.
Is there new further?
So we did 1 leg, she did pretty good there. Let's do the other side. There we go, good girl. Okay. Now normally if she was kind of wild, I'd keep this lead rope over my arm, but she's pretty quiet here. So again, you lay it across, go up, here. Now everything I'm showing you is in detail on our hobbling and leg restraints DVD. Okay, pull it up nice and tight. There we go. Now it's important that once you get it done up tight, to step back. Don't be hanging around close to them in case they might rear up or do something silly. You don't want to be close to them. So I want to move her around on this side. That's it. I'm going to yield her hindquarters. Good girl. Move her off that way. See how she's getting a little tired now? She's like, man, this moving around, it's not quite as much fun as I thought it would be. I'm going to go ahead and yield her hindquarters. Good girl. Yield her hindquarters. There we go. I'm going to wait here. Don't let her get close to you here. See how I'm backing her away with that rope? Now I'm waiting here for her to stand still. I want her to think standing still is a good deal. I like that. That's a good sign. See how she lowered her head and neck? Great sign of submissiveness. Immediately take this off. Good girl. She's licking her lips. Another good sign. Okay? So she kind of moved around there pretty good for a while, didn't she? And then you could tell after about 2 circles, she started to get a little tired. And then she's kind of like, man, this is a lot more work than what I thought. That's the perfect time to let them stop and rest. And as soon as she stood still and she showed me a sign of relaxing, which was lowering her head, I immediately took the hobble off. That couldn't be better timing. As soon as she relaxed, I said, hey, let me take that off you. Good girl. So by just taking away one of her legs at any one time, it's not such a dramatic change for the horse, okay? So there's always still gonna be some fight involved with the horse. What we're trying to do is minimize the fight and minimize the chance of her hurting herself or hurting you in the process, okay? So let's do it one more time here. Squeeze, Ask her to give me that foot. There we go. Now you don't have to lunge them around a long way, of course, just enough to where they wish they were standing still. They're gonna move regardless, so you might as well be the one that moves them and takes credit for it. And then when they want to stand still, you look like the good guy. You can even do a little lunge in stage 2. Stop, do a little roll back. Step in front, do a little roll back. Stop, do a roll back. And then yield. And yield to hindquarters here. That's a go. Don't get in close to those front legs. Oh, I like that. What's she doing? She licked the lips. I'm coming in from the side. Notice I'm coming in from the side. Good girl. Don't come in from the front, because if they rear up and strike out, they might get you. Always come in from the side of the shoulder. I love that she licked the lips and she lowered her head. 2 good signs again. Good girl.
Anything worth having is worth working for, that's for sure. Not gonna make it here if you got any quit in you.
This is where I needed to be the best that I could be. And that's just what we do here.
Dedication, ambition, passion. To some, these are more than ideals. They are a lifestyle, a code, a path to something greater. If you think you're one of the select few who can rise to the challenge, who can dedicate themselves to mastering the method through 70 weeks of in-depth, hands-on training, let the Clinton Anderson Academy catapult your skills and provide you with the ultimate experience. If you have what it takes, become a Clinton Anderson certified clinician and change your life.
Good girl. Okay. The last thing I want to do is put this one-legged hobble on her and then just leave her there for 3 hours and torture her. That's not what we're trying to do here. Okay, we're trying to teach her that if you feel your leg restricted, do not panic. If you stand still and relax, that problem will disappear for you. Okay, good girl. So our first step is just getting each front foot to understand that it can be picked up. There's no need to panic and strike and fight. You can move around, but it's quite a bit of hard work to move around, isn't it? If you'll just stand still and relax, that hobble will come off you very, very quickly. Just like if my horse's leg is caught in a fence. A horse that's not trained to do this, I guarantee the first thing they're gonna do, as soon as they realize their foot is stuck, they're gonna panic and jerk that foot out. But if you've taught your horse to accept pressure around his legs and you've taught him not to panic and fight when he feels his leg is trapped, as soon as he goes to pull his leg out, once he realizes, there's some pressure on it, he'll do this. He'll come forward and relax. And I guarantee this works, again, I'll prove it to you later on, but they get very submissive, okay? So that's our one-legged hobble there. Now, you could see that wasn't that big of a deal with her, okay? Because, first of all, because we didn't do this in the first lesson, did we? You know what I mean? We've done this after we've already completed all of the groundwork series and series 1 and our round pen series, okay? So she knows how to be respectful. She knows how to use the thinking side of her brain. She's not scared of me or my tools. So that's why we didn't get into a huge fight. Every single time she stood still and she relaxed, what did I do? I took the hobble off straight away. And that's laying a foundation for her not to panic when she feels like her legs are restricted, okay? The next thing I'd like to do here is we'll go ahead and put the sideline on her, okay? Now, the sideline is going to restrict 2 legs at the same time. So I'm gonna make it just a little bit harder for her in some ways here. Actually, I put it on the wrong foot, I wasn't paying attention. Normally I put it on the hind leg first. Okay. Now, of course, she's pretty quiet with the legs and so forth. I've already done a lot of handling with the legs. Okay. I'm going to pick this up here. There we go. And just bring a leg forward, like so. And then I'm going to do a front leg, like that. Okay, now her legs, her front leg and back leg on the same side are connected. So she can still move around, but she kind of it's kind of like her shoelaces are tied together. You can still move if your shoelaces are tied together, but you have to think about how far you step. Now she can't trot, of course, when she's like this, so as long as she walks forward, that's fine with me. But I want her to think standing still is a much better option. Let's see what she does. There, I like that, lowering her head and neck. Good girl. Okay. Now what I want to do is, why don't we go ahead and disengage your hindquarters with the sideline on. Just making sure I can move that hindquarters laterally. Because whatever we do on one side, we're going to do on the other. Got to think about that.
Ever wished Clinton Anderson would just come by and help you with your horse, or that he would put on a clinic in your own arena? Well, now you can get the next best thing. Meet the Clinton Anderson Certified Clinicians. Trained by Clinton himself, these great horsemen have met all the requirements of the Clinton Anderson Academy. 16 months of intensive training at the Downunder Horsemanship Ranch. Theoretical and practical testing on Clinton's method. Hands-on experience with problem horses. Now, there is a Clinton Anderson method expert willing and able to come to where you live and ride to teach a private lesson or put on a public clinic. Learn at your own pace. Get personalized instruction, all without having to travel far from home. So if you can't find the time or the money to come to a Clinton Anderson clinic at his ranch, now you have an option. Get accelerated results. Let a Clinton Anderson certified clinician bring the method to you. Visit certifiedclinician.com for more.
Take this off and work with her on the other side. Any chance you get, always go back and desensitize her and make sure she's not worried about you or your tools. Okay? So go. You can pull this foot forward now. That's it. Keep her head tipped towards you when you're on that side. Finish off and flex her. Let's do it on the other side now. Pull it up here. That's why you put it on the back one first, so you can pull that hind leg up. Okay, new side, new brain. That's why we do it on each side. Because in her mind, she's never had these legs restricted. You'll find that one side they'll fight you a little bit more on than the other. The only difference when I'm got the sidelines on, I don't usually change directions when I'm going around, because I don't want that other hind leg to step over the strap. There we go. There, see how she's kicking? Did you notice how when she kicked just then, she kind of pulled that front foot out from underneath her, didn't she? Okay. This is a great response from her. She's standing still, she's nice and relaxed, that's great. Let me go in here and just yield her hindquarters just a little bit here. Yield that hindquarters around, great. Okay, flex her head here, good go. So bring that foot forward. Okay. So now that we've used the sideline on her, and we've got her to a point to where she's had both front legs restricted with the one-legged hobble, and then she's had her front leg and a back leg restricted on the same side. So now we've technically put pressure on each one of the 4 legs, that she's had a chance to feel like, she can't move as much as she wants to. She's pretty much having a textbook reaction to what's happening to her. She's fought and struggled a little bit, but nothing real bad, no major panic and fighting. And again, I keep coming back to it. That's the reason why you do the groundwork first, is to cut down a lot of that fight. The less groundwork you do and the less your horse is respectful before you get started, the more fight you're usually going to have. I like this. You notice that she's actually more passive? That's what happens. Horses get a lot more submissive when you can take their legs away from them. Now, initially, they'll struggle more and they'll get worse. But after they go through that struggle and they realize that panicking and fighting is not the right answer, then they get very, very submissive. And that's what she's starting to do right now. She's doing great.
Clinton Anderson, world-renowned horseman, has designed one of today's most unique handcrafted saddles. Combining time-worn traditions with the latest innovations in saddle making, Clinton and Martin's Saddlery have created the ultimate Aussie saddle, hand-tooled, double-stitched out of premium leather. It's tree handcrafted from Dakota pine. The perfectly engineered fiberglass seat guarantees a natural fit. Eliminates pressure points. This is a saddle built with real life in mind. It gives a rider unique balance, security, comfort, a strong seat, and a perfect fit. Maximizing performance for you and your horse through coordinated movement, a secure and balanced seat, free range of motion, just as nature intended. Clinton Anderson combines the perfect combination of Aussie and American saddle making. Clinton Anderson Aussie Saddle, made exclusively for Downunder Horsemanship. Call or click to order today, or shop our store at a Clinton Anderson tour event near you.
Now, mate, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the front hobbles to her at the same time. I went ahead and put the sidelines back on her, and now I'm going to connect her front legs and tie them together. There's lots of different hobbles, different designs you can use. You can have leather ones, or in this case, rope ones. It's just personal preference. I personally like the rope ones like this. They're easy to put on, they're easy to get off. I can tie them to my saddle. I just like the feel and the look of the rope ones better, okay? Now, the reason why I want to go ahead and put the sideline on her when I connect her front legs together is that when you first tie a horse's front legs together, they're going to have a tendency to, when they first go to walk off, because it's much harder for them to walk off when their front legs are tied together, they're going to have a tendency to usually want to rear up in the air. Well, if you've got the sidelines on and they go to rear up in the air, they're very limited to how high they can go. So they can't do the whole rear up and high hole silver and, do the whole striking out thing because their front foot is tied to their back foot. So always put the hobbles on when you've got the sideline on. They can still jump up in the air, but they just can't go very far. And I find that when they can't get their front feet off the ground very far, they just don't seem to want to struggle anywhere near as much. But if you just put the front hobbles on them, usually they'll rear up a lot more and struggle. But if they can still get out of it, eventually they'll figure out struggling's not the way to go. But I'd rather cut down on the struggling if I can, okay? So, to begin with, let me just bring this foot up here a little bit here. There we go. I'm going to squeeze this one here. There we go. Okay. You kind of got to bring the feet closer together. So basically what I do is I go around the outside leg and I twist the hobble in 3 twists. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And you go around their leg and through the loop. Just like that there. Now step back now, because they will struggle a little bit and you don't want to be close to them. So when I first put them on, I'll just stand back and just let her think about there a little bit. Now, if you've already done the method that I've showed you, her desire to want to move around is not real high because she's realized that standing still is a much better option than running around. Okay, so I just let her kind of think about it. Next thing I'm going to do is just kind of yield her hindquarters a little bit. I might 12 the end of my rope. There. I just want her to move her hindquarters laterally. That's it. Stay away from their front feet here. Okay. Here we go. There we go, good girl. Now you notice that she didn't really struggle at all with those front legs, did she? Okay, it's a good sign. What I might do to her now is just pull her off balance just a little bit. There, I just want her to realize there, that her front legs are actually tied together. So I'm just gonna pull her off balance just a little bit here. There we go. You see how she can jump in the air, but she can't get very high, okay? Good. Okay, see how she started licking her lips then? That's a great place to just let her think about that just for a little bit there, okay? Now, one thing about when I put the front hobbles on is I don't want a horse to learn when they've got their front legs tied together to actually move around. I will let the horse move around with the sideline on to where they actually can move around. I don't mind that. But I have a rule that if their front legs are tied together, they better imagine that they're glued to the ground. So I never want them to learn when their front legs are tied together, they should just stand still and relax, okay? And so that's why I'm not going to lunge her around. I did pull her off balance a little bit, just so I wanted her to feel that her legs were restricted, and I did yield her hindquarters, but I don't actually want to go ahead and lunge her around. So the first time I'll go ahead and put these hobbles on, I usually just stand here with them like this for a good 10 minutes, okay? Just let them relax here a little bit. You can desensitize them, throw the rope over their back and desensitize them with the stick and string and so forth. But I'm always gonna stay with them, okay? And after about 10 minutes, when she relaxes and she's not fighting anymore, that's when I would go ahead and take the hobbles off. Like I like that there. See how she's licking the lips, she's lowered her head, okay? So that would be a great place to take them off there. Now, when you come up, always come up from a 45-degree angle to their shoulder, okay? So I'll pull it over the knob here and then off. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, pull a hind leg up, get a little closer here, take the front leg off, keep a nose tip towards you, and back leg. Good girl. Flexor. So that'd be a good place to finish the hobbling lesson. Now, another little tip that I'll give you as well is do the hobbling exercise at the end of one of your training sessions, preferably after you've ridden the horse and the horse has had quite a good workout, because now he's going to be a little tired, he's going to be a little sweaty, he's not going to be real fresh and be feeling his oats, so to speak. But I suppose what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't want to lock them up in a stall for 3 or 4 days, feed them 5 buckets of corn, walk them out of their stall and they're breathing fire, okay, and they're jumping out of their skin, and then go ahead and hobble them, because you're just asking for a wreck. Set your horse up for success, not failure. So do it when your horse is already thinking, he's not reacting, he's quiet, he's calm, and preferably he's a little tired. That'll take a little bit more of that fight away. So what I would like to do with her is I'd do this every day with her for the next 7 days. Except for the first 3 or 4 days, I would stand with her when I hobble her, okay? For 10, 15 minutes, just stand with her. You can read a book, stand there and desensitize or whatever you want to do. And after the first 3 or 4 days, when she's proved to me she can stand for 10, 15 minutes without a lot of struggling, then what I would do is I would let her stand there unattended, okay? So I could unclip the halter, okay, or take the halter off and just leave her in the round pen by herself. But if she starts moving around, okay, go ahead and straight away, go ahead and move in there, disengage your hindquarters, pull her off balance, and then let her stand there. I want her to think moving around is difficult. Don't walk off and just let them wander around the arena, because again, once they get in the habit of moving those front legs when they're tied together, it's very difficult to fix. There's no doubt that some horses are going to fight more than others. My advice to you is, number one, you do want them to fight a little bit, meaning that you do want them to try to struggle and try to get out of it and realize that fighting and struggling is not the right answer. Then when they stand still and they show signs of submissiveness, okay, and they're submissive, that's when you take the one-legged hobble off or the sideline off. So you're teaching them that standing still and relaxing is the way to get this problem over and done with. But fighting and reacting is not the way out of this. That's what Mother Nature says. Mother Nature says, rear, strike, kick, bite, fight your way out of it. We're saying no, don't fight, get submissive. And you can just see here, the more I do this, the quieter she's getting, the more she's lowering that head and neck. Okay, good girl, she's doing great.
Fundamentals has shown you the basics. Now it's time to put those principles into practice. Get out of the arena and get on the trail. This all-new supplement will show you how to apply the method on the trail. You get 10 instruction-packed DVDs and 2 hardcover books. That's over $800 worth of training for only $3.99. Get up, get out, and get on the trail.
I want to show you one more thing, mate, before the end of the show. Laying a horse down is something that I really like to do to get a horse to be submissive and respectful. Now again, always do your preparation first. Don't try to lay a horse down with the method I'm going to show you until you've done the hobbling procedure first. Once you've done the hobbling procedure, getting a horse to lay down is really not that difficult, okay? So what we're going to do here is I've got a lariat. I like a 45-foot lariat, but it's made out of XXX soft rope. I like a lariat that has really soft rope, not like a traditional roping rope that you steer rope with, but it's really hard and abrasive, and it'll take a lot of hair off your horse and burr them up a lot, okay? The softer a rope is, the easier it is on your horse's legs, okay? So what I want to do is, for starters, just get this out of here, is I'm going to go ahead and pick a front leg up here, squeeze here, there we go, and put this around the front foot. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lariat over here. I'm going to grab it, pull it back through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask her to pick that foot up, and I'm going to make it harder for her not to lay down. I'm going to give her a choice, basically. The easier it is for her to lay down, the more she'll want to do it. Okay? So I'm going to pick this foot up. I'm just going to keep this over my elbow because she's never had this done to her. Okay. Right, I'm going to pick this foot up and then release it. I'm going to pick it up, approach, and retreat. Approach, and then retreat. Now, she shouldn't struggle with this much because we just did the hobbling. Okay. Now, I'm going to pick it up like so. Okay, I'm going to get it nice and tight. I'm going to get this rope up on her withers here. I'm going to get her leg up pretty tight here. And then I'm going to take it around and make a half hitch. Just be careful here because they might rear up. Well, she made it pretty easy here, didn't she? There we go. Good girl. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is going to lean over here and I'm just going to take this off her front foot here and let that front foot stretch out. Okay, that's a go. Pull this back through. Now, hang on a second, let me see. Well, she's going to get up again. Let me see if I can keep her down here. Good girl. Now, good news was, see here, pull it across her hip here, and then release it. Every time she goes to get up, I'm going to try to keep it back down. See how I'm pulling up across her hip? Difficult. Difficult, release. Watch the timing. Notice that I'm pulling across her withers and back. Good girl. Now, that was probably about the most struggle she put up then, wasn't it? Right then, is trying to get up. Good news and bad news. Good news is, it took hardly any effort to get her to lay down. That means that she's trusting me, she doesn't have a lot of fight in her, and she's not reactive. Bad news is she probably went down a little easier than what I would have liked for the TV show. Most horses are not going to go down quite that easy. They're going to struggle a little bit. And you're going to pull on that rope, and as soon as they kneel down, then you're going to release the rope and just stand there. And every time they get back up again, you're going to pull it. When they kneel down, you're going to release it. Okay? And usually within 2 or 3 minutes, you can get them to lay down. Okay? So the good news is she went down quickly, bad for the example for the camera. However, did you notice that when she tried to get up just then, every time she went to get up, I pulled that rope across her withers and back and put that bend in her neck. And then when she laid back down, I released that pressure. She tried to get up like 4 or 5 times, and every time she went to get up, I put her in a bind. Every time she laid down, I took that pressure off her. Well, actually, that taught her more than anything, because that taught her that when she wants to fight, it's uncomfortable. When she relaxes, that pressure is taken away. So I just want to let her relax here a little bit. Now, I love what she just did then. She took a big sigh. I felt her belly go up. I can hear her groaning right now. So once they lay down, then you want to rub on them, okay? Make sure they're comfortable with you moving around them. Always have this rope over the other side of their neck so you're ready if they go to get up, okay? Now watch. That's good. She thought about getting up just then, and then she decided not to. You can go ahead and do a little desensitizing with them, with your rope. Okay, make sure they're comfortable with this. Now I'm going to ask her to go up. Now I'm just going to pull her back down again and ask her to lay back down. Okay. Ask her to get up a little bit and then lay her back down. Good girl. Every time you lay them back down, it gets them a little bit more submissive. This time I'm going to let her get up completely. Good girl. Excellent. Good girl. She did really, really good. In fact, if I had to criticize her, she did a little too good, okay? She went down a little too easy. But the good news is that's what good preparation does. The more you prepare your horse, the easier these lessons are going to be. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. Cider is really coming along. She's a very quiet mare, got a great attitude, and she is going to make somebody in a really good riding partner for the next 20 years, that's for sure. Well, listen, mate, until next week, take care of yourself, keep up the good work, and we'll see you next week right here with Cider again. Take care, mate.